Happy Sunday, everybody. It's time once again for another episode of the Lions Grid. Today, of course, doing the pregame episode, Joe, as the Chiefs and the Lions square off here at 1 o'clock. So I guess first things first, Joe, we do now have a confirmation about everybody who will be out for both teams. Taking a look at the Lions inactives, Joe, some big names here. We got Darius Slay ruled out for this game, Danny Amendola, Deshaun Hand, Mike Daniels, along with Paul Perkins, Bo Benshaw, and Ode Abashi. So obviously the big one there, Slay, also no Deshaun Hand back yet, and then Danny Amendola also missing the game. Mike Daniels, we did mention yesterday, had already been ruled out, but slightly disappointing that we won't be seeing Slay on the field in a game where I think we're going to need him, Joe.
Yeah, what we're seeing this week is a lot more injuries or a lot more people sitting out this game, kind of realizing that it might not be worth it to stretch out the injury and play through an injury. Just take the game, and I chose the Lions to lose this game. So, a lot of people are just hoping that they put up a competitive fight. And if these guys need to rest up, it's better to have them rested up and see how we do with kind of a depleted lineup than have these guys give it their all in week 4 of the regular season, because, chances are we won't run into Kansas City again throughout the season. By some weird odds, the Lions go to the Super Bowl. But this game is not as important to win as the previous two. So I think a lot of people just want to see competitive football today. So if the players that are injured need to rest, by all means, take the week, rest up so you can play healthy for the rest of the season and compete for the division.
Yeah, the nice thing, too, is with the Lions having the bye week next week, it gives them, 2 solid weeks to make sure they're healthy before that Monday night matchup against the Packers. So, it does make sense. Obviously, from a fan's perspective, we're kind of interested to see how the Lions stack up against what a lot of people have rated as the number 2 team in the NFL currently. So from that perspective, it's just disappointing that you don't get to see it, what the Lions look like with all the best players out there and how they match up. But certainly, Joe, to your point, it makes a lot of sense for them to take the time they need to make sure they're healthy, because the season is certainly a marathon and not a sprint. This is the 4th week, so this will be the end of the first quarter. There's still 3 quarters of a season left to go, and so we're going to need Slay and Amendola, Hand, and everybody else there for the long haul. So best that they take the time to get healthy, and very convenient that if they miss this week, they also aren't going to get penalized by missing next week because of the bye week. So plenty of time for them to get healthy and get right before we square off with the Packers on Monday Night Football. On the Chiefs side of things, oh, sorry, go ahead, Joe.
I was just going to say, in terminology, Packers have a bye. Essentially, Lions are going to lose today, have the bye, and depending on whatever the Packers do, the night game and the Lions, then we will see a division win against Green, and they'll still have Chicago and Minnesota to go, but it will put them back in first place, but not by default, but by beating Green Bay.
Yeah, that'd be huge. That's definitely making a statement again in a division that we feel is one of the best in the NFL. So certainly important to have everybody back for that. And just to quickly go over who the Chiefs have as inactives for today, obviously some of these guys aren't a surprise because they've been ruled out, at least they're big guys. Tyreek Hill, Damian Williams, Eric Fisher, those 3 we've kind of known would be missing this game. And then rounding out the rest of their inactives, a lot of offensive linemen here. Some of them I'm not very familiar with. Greg Sennett, Nick Algaretti, Martinez Rankin, and then I believe he's one of their draft picks from this past draft, defensive lineman Kalen Sanders. So obviously the big 3 names there are Tyreek Hill, Damon Williams, and Eric Fisher. And like I said, Joe, we've kind of known that those guys would be missing this game. So not huge news there on the inactive front from the Chiefs, but certainly a chance, especially with so many of the backup depth offensive line being injured, for the Lions to potentially get something going there against that weakened offensive front.
Yeah, if they're missing so many linemen, it'd be good to see the defensive line actually get some pressure on Mahomes. I don't know that the secondary is going to be able to make many plays today. That's one thing that we're going to have to get a look at the backups on is backup cornerback and backup wide receiver Slays out, Amendola's out. You got to see how these role players are going to come in and perform.
Yep, certainly a chance for some guys to step up because we are missing quite a few important pieces. But one thing I did want to just go over quickly here, you can see on the screen we do have the team stats for both teams. So what we have there, your offensive stats are on top. So you can see for the offense of the Kansas City Chiefs, a lot of leading in a lot of categories. They're first in passing yards per game. They're second overall in yards per game, and then third and fourth for points per game and the points they've scored on the season. The Lions kind of keeping it respectable on offense. They're towards the upper half of the league. You can see 12th for their yards per game, 11th in their passing yards. Slightly better than the Chiefs when it comes to running the ball. And then from a defensive perspective, both of the teams seem to be taking the perspective of bend, not break. They haven't given up a ton of points. Kansas City's given up 64 points on the season. The Lions have given up 61, but they have given up a ton of yardage. So both teams ranking towards the bottom in the yards per game. 23rd for the Lions, 24th for the Chiefs, so pretty close there. The Lions slightly better than the Chiefs when it comes to the rushing yards given up, but the Chiefs slightly better than the Lions when it comes to the passing yards given up on the season. So, really the defenses seem pretty evenly matched just looking at the stats totals, Joe. And, of course, from the offensive perspective, we know that what Patrick Mahomes has done. Of course, he's the reigning MVP of the league and certainly has that Chiefs offense humming. The Lions have been respectable, though, so it's certainly a chance here. And, of course, good that Matt Stafford will be playing in this game despite popping up on that injury report late in the week. Again, we both went with the Chiefs in this game because on paper this is certainly a game they should win. But I don't think it's a game where people should go in expecting the Lions to get blown out. I think they can keep it respectable. At least they should be able to because they are somewhat evenly matched, even though the Chiefs certainly have the edge.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Offense for the Detroit, ever been a game this season that has the defense not kept in it? Played good enough to have the Lions get a lead or to keep them from getting too far behind. So that's one thing we're going to have to watch today is seeing how the defense is able to keep Detroit in the game and seeing what type of offense the Detroit Lions be a one possession. But some of the watchers have had a game a bunch of, and they haven't been in after the third quarter or after halftime or whatever. And it's one thing you've seen with Detroit is they've been able to stay in every football game and have get on their record.
Yeah, certainly. You look at the results of the first three games. You got, of course, there was the tie with Arizona, so a close game there, and then a 3-point victory over the Chargers and a 3-point victory last week over the Eagles. So certainly they've kept it close, and hopefully that's something they can do here today. Again, I think we're both in the same point. We're just realistically, it seems like the Chiefs are the team that should come out of here with the win, but. Yeah, I'm just looking for the Lions to continue what they've been doing on the season and just, keep it close. And it seems like the MO of the team, at least this year, where if they can keep it close, they have been able to swing the outcome of the games in their favor. So, would it be the craziest thing ever to happen? No, I wouldn't consider it like the biggest upset ever in NFL history. But at the same time, certainly I think my expectation heading into the game is for the Chiefs to get the win. But going to be interesting to see how we stack up, even though, again, we are missing Slay and Amendola. Certainly would love to have them on the field. But still, I think it should be a pretty competitive game and a fun watch here at the 1 o'clock time slot. All right. Well, at this point, really, the only thing left to do is to watch the game and see how it unfolds, Joe. So, that will do it for today's episode. Keeping our pregame episodes are usually short and sweet and to the point. So, again, the game is at 1 p.m. on Fox. So make sure you're tuning in and then checking out how the Lions do. If you did enjoy our show here today, please do like the video, and if you haven't done so yet, please consider subscribing to the channel. Really helps support us. We have a goal of reaching 100 subscribers so we can get a custom URL for the channel. We're making good progress there, so if you haven't done so, it's one of the best ways you can help us out. We really do appreciate it. We will be back tomorrow doing our sort of recap video, going over whatever the result of this game is here. So we'll dive a little further into that. And then, of course, the rest of the week we'll be doing our usual schedule as well. So be sure, if you enjoyed what we did here today, to come back and hang out with us for the rest of the week, because we'll be coming out with new Lions content or NFL content all week long. Until the next video, I'm Kevin Marheine. He's Joe Wilmot. We'll see you during the next video.